Everyone, after watching the first 4 episodes of Stranger Things Season 5, is there one question that keeps bugging you? Is Vecna really the main villain? Or is he just a pawn of something bigger? Today, I'm going to tell you about what might be the biggest twist in the Stranger Things universe. And trust me, this theory isn't just speculation. From the Broadway play The First Shadow to hidden clues in previous seasons, everything points to this theory. Vecna is not the real villain. The Mind Flayer has always been the real boss. And in the final battle, Henry Creel might even switch to the good side. If you're ready, let's dive deep into this dark truth together. And please, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel because as the Stranger Things finale approaches, more theory videos are coming. Let's get started. First, let's go back to the Mind Flayer's story. We first saw it in Season 2 in Byers' drawings, remember? A giant shadow monster with spider-like legs covering the sky, a terrifying entity. Well said back then, it's like an army, but it's also a single mind. And here comes the first clue, guys. A single mind. The hive mind concept. The Mind Flayer isn't just a monster. It's the brain of the Upside Down, controlling everything, seeing everything, a cosmic entity. At the end of Season 2, we saw the Mind Flayer expelled from Will's body. But it never really disappeared, did it? It came back in Season 3. This time stronger, more organized. It possessed people, created the Flayed, used Billy Hargrove. And remember what Billy said when he was dying? "I'm sorry," as if he was under control, as if someone else was directing him. Now, let's get to Season 4. We learned Vecna's backstory. Henry Creel, number 1 at Hawkins' lab, sent to the Upside Down by 11. And there he became Vecna. But here's the question. When Vecna went to the Upside Down, what did he find there? An empty dimension? No, the Mind Flayer was already there. We saw it in Season 4's flashback. When Vecna fell into the Upside Down, that place was just an empty wasteland. Red lightning, floating particles. But then Vecna touched something there, and suddenly the Upside Down became a copy of Hawkins. So how did this happen? Did Vecna create this? Or did the Mind Flayer create it using Vecna? This is where it gets critical, guys. Because the Broadway play The First Shadow revealed a bombshell truth. The First Shadow tells the story of Henry Creel's childhood. In 1959, young Henry, he just moved to Hawkins, and strange things start happening there. We learn in the play that the Mind Flayer was first discovered in the 1940s. The government made contact with Dimension X, and in that dimension, there was an entity, cosmic, ancient, powerful, the Mind Flayer. Young Henry Creel connected with this entity. The Mind Flayer started calling out to Henry. It gave him power, telekinetic abilities, the power to read people's minds. But there was a price. The play clearly shows the Mind Flayer manipulated Henry. Even Henry's blood type changed. He was no longer a normal human. He had become part of the Mind Flayer. And here's the most important detail. When Henry killed his own family, he didn't do it entirely of his own will. The Mind Flayer directed him. The writers and producers of The First Shadow all worked with the Duffer Brothers. So this is canon. This is the official story. The Mind Flayer has been controlling Henry since his childhood. Now think about it. When 11 sent Henry to the Upside Down in Season 4, what did Henry find there? The Mind Flayer. But the Mind Flayer already knew Henry because it had been connected to him for years. And the Mind Flayer completely took over Henry. Vecna was created, but Vecna is a creation of the Mind Flayer. A puppet, a pawn. Now let's go back to scenes from the show and examine the clues showing the Mind Flayer-Vecna relationship. When Will was possessed by the Mind Flayer, he constantly felt cold. And he said something, "It wants me." Wanting. Why did the Mind Flayer want Will? Because it was the first version of what Vecna is trying to do. Vecna in Season 5 is kidnapping children and using them as vessels. The Mind Flayer tried to use Will the same way in Season 2. So this is the Mind Flayer's plan. Vecna is just executing this plan. In Season 3, the Mind Flayer possessed people, connected them to a hive mind, and eventually created a giant flesh monster. This flesh monster was supposed to be the Mind Flayer's physical form. But 11 and her friends destroyed it. Or so we thought, because the Mind Flayer never really disappeared. It just retreated and put Vecna forward. In Season 4, Vecna told 11 his story. "I am a visionary. I am the creator," he said. But pay attention. Vecna constantly said, we shape the Upside Down. We will destroy this world. We? Who's we? Vecna and the Mind Flayer. Vecna sees himself as the creator, but actually, he's an extension of the Mind Flayer. And the most important clue, Vecna's form in the upside down. Tendrils, vines, all connected to each other. Just like the Mind Flayer's hive mind. Vecna is not separate from the Mind Flayer. He's part of the Mind Flayer. And now in Season 5, will Byers gain powers? At the end of Episode 4, we'll kill the Demogorgons. Using Vecna's power. How? Because Will has been connected to Vecna since Season 1, but actually connected to the Mind Flayer. The Mind Flayer never fully let go of Will, and now Will can use this connection. This is very important, because in the final battle, Will will use this power. Maybe together with 11, maybe together with Vecna, against the Mind Flayer. Now, let's get to the most important part. Can Vecna be saved? Can Henry Creel switch to the good side? On Reddit, fan theories say yes, and there's strong evidence for this. Think about it. Darth Vader was a Sith Lord. He was on the dark side. He served Emperor Palpatine. But what happened in the end? Luke found the good in his father, and Vader saved himself by destroying the Emperor. The same thing could happen with Vecna. Vecna is the Mind Flayer's Darth Vader. Powerful, terrifying, but actually manipulated. 11 might find Henry within Vecna, and Henry could turn against the Mind Flayer. The Duffer Brothers said in an interview that when writing Season 5, they were inspired by the movie The Cell. What happens in The Cell? A psychologist enters a serial killer's mind, and there, she finds the killer's childhood version. That child is innocent, but the grown version has become a monster, and at the end of the film, that child must be killed. In the mind, the same thing could happen in Stranger Things. Max, Holly, and other children are in Vecna's mind. The episodes are called Escape from Commissats. Commissats is the evil dimension from the book A Wrinkle in Time, and there, they'll enter Vecna's mind. Maybe they'll find young Henry, and they'll save Henry from the Mind Flayer, or they'll kill him. Either way, this could be Vecna's redemption. The first shadow play shows Henry as a victim, a child manipulated, controlled. His family couldn't help him. Dr. Brenner used him, and the Mind Flayer took him over. Henry Creel never got a real chance, and maybe in the finale, he'll get that chance. 11 could reach out to him. Will could use their connection, and Henry could break free from the Mind Flayer's control. Then, all together, they could fight the real enemy, the Mind Flayer. So how will the finale go? Based on the clues we've gathered so far, here are my predictions. In Volume 2, the group will find Vecna. There will be a big battle. 11, Will, Callie, number 8 will combine their powers. 11 plus 8 plus Will's Vecna power. And they'll defeat Vecna, or so they'll think. But when Vecna is defeated, the real danger will begin. The Mind Flayer will emerge from the shadows, and they'll see that Vecna was just a pawn. The Mind Flayer controls all of the Upside Down. Demogorgons, Demodogs, everything. And now, the Mind Flayer will attack personally. And that's when an impossible alliance will form. 11 will Callie and Vecna, or Henry Creel, because Henry will have been freed from the Mind Flayer, and he too will want the Mind Flayer destroyed. Together, they'll fight the final battle. Maybe in the Nevada Cave. Maybe in the depths of Dimension X. Maybe they'll go back in time and break the Mind Flayer's first connection. Remember, Vecna kidnapped 12 children. Like 12 hours. A clock. And Robin made a Back to the Future joke. Flux capacitor. Maybe Vecna will use these 12 children as a human clock. Or the group will use this clock to go back in time. To the 1940s. To when the government first found the Mind Flayer. And they'll break that first connection. The Mind Flayer will never find Henry. The Upside Down will never open. But there will be a price. Maybe 11 will lose her powers. Maybe someone will sacrifice themselves. Steve? Jonathan? Max? The Duffer Brothers said, "We've known the final scene for years." Noah Schnapp, who plays Will, said, "The story started with Will. It will end with Will." Maybe the final scene will be at Will's house, just like the beginning of Season 1. But this time, everything is normal. The Upside Down is destroyed. The Mind Flayer is gone. Vecna is gone. Just friends, playing Dungeons and Dragons. And Will rolls the dice one more time. Critical Role. They won. So there you have it, guys. Perhaps the biggest secret of Stranger Things. Vecna was never the real villain. The Mind Flayer was always manipulating from behind the scenes. And the final battle will be against this cosmic entity. Volume 2 will be released on December 25th, and the finale on December 31st. and I'll be analyzing every second. If you enjoyed this theory, please like the video. And if you want to see more Stranger Things theories, Easter egg analysis, and finale predictions, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Because when Volume 2 drops, I'll be here with new videos. What do you think? Can Vecna really get a redemption arc? Is the Mind Flayer the final boss? Share your thoughts in the comments. It's so much fun to read each other's theories. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. And remember, the truth is out there, in the Upside Down. See you soon.